My name is Mario de Vicente, and I come from Madrid. See, and well, I've been an English teacher for about 35 years. Okay, um, I'm retired presently. You see, at present,
Yes.
I'm retired at present, um, because I'm almost 65 years old. So
Got you.
I'm
Yeah,
retired. Well,
fantastic.
I'm
Long.
in part, not totally retired. You see, um, I was a teacher in secondary schools, several secondary schools. You see, and well, the main course I taught was second of bachillerato. You see,
In public schools.
public schools, and well, I think I taught in four or five schools, secondary schools,
So
and
you can tell us any tip or any advice that you would say to the next, these people, this generation of people that are preparing themselves to pass the civil exam for secondary or even the Escuela Oficial de Idiomas. Do you have any tip for the exam, for the civil exam?
to be very, very stubborn. You see,
Very stubborn. Yeah.
stubborn.
Yes.
Continue and continue. Persistent,
Yeah.
persistent.
Yeah.
Always have faith. You
Yeah.
know, because this is a long run, a very, very long race.
Yes.
You see,
Yeah.
not necessarily long, but it could be long.
Yeah.
You see,
By the way, it's intense anyway.
Mhm. So you have to be uh, always persistent and persistent,
And
because if you don't get it one year, you see, it'll be the next. The first time I went there to take an exams, you see, opposition exams, I went there just to see,
yeah.
just to see, just to feel the atmosphere, you
Yeah.
see, how it felt to be in such a big hall, you see, surrounded with so many people, echoes, you see,
Yeah.
sensations,
Yeah.
perceptions, you
Yeah.
see, because well, it influences in your mind, you see, because it's not your habitual environment, you
Absolutely
see.
not. Yes.
So I wanted to get used to it,
Yeah.
you see, the voice of the examiners,
Mm-hmm.
the echoes, everything, you
Yeah.
see, just to get used to the environment.
Absolutely. It's very.
What I couldn't train was the last proof,
Mhm.
proof, which was to speak in front of five five
The tri-
examiners,
the tribunal.
the tribunal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's true. Yeah. That was.
About for an hour in English for an hour.
Yeah.
I couldn't train that,
Yeah. Yes.
but I don't know if they do it now.
I will. I did pass this year, 2022, an exam, the habilitation, because I wanted to experience how was the habilitation, the linguistic habilitation is called, and I know that I had enough level for performing this exam, but I was heading there because I wanted to experience and help other people. I was also I am coaching people to pass this exam, so I wanted to experience it. And it's very similar. It's in front of five. I was scared actually because it was five all women in
Yeah,
front of me with the mask as well, because in COVID times this is what is happening. And it was kind of I was very scared. I remember myself telling them, I'm already very scared and I'm very, very nervous that I couldn't even hear what they were telling me because of the nerves.
yeah. It was very very funny because I was nervous for a whole year.
Mm.
But the day I went to the examination, I don't know how, but it was so relaxed. I was whistling a song by how do they call it in English, the pitufos. I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yes.
I was whistling
Yeah.
that song. You
Yeah.
see, I was relaxed. I can understand. You see, But I remember I was a little tricky because you had to stay locked for an hour
Mm,
to prepare the oral test. You
yeah,
see, the oral
yeah,
for an hour. And
yeah.
first there was a bag, of they weren't balls, but these bingo pieces, but
Yeah.
they were flat. They were flat,
Okay.
not round, not balls. They
Yeah,
were
they
flat.
weren't like a spheric. They were flat.
They
Yeah,
were flat. You
yeah.
see. So they opened the bag, and one of the these pieces, went out of the bag and stopped in front of me. I could see the number, and I said, "Oh, I know this one perfectly." So what you have to do is put your hand into the bag
Yeah,
and take one randomly. But I
yeah.
didn't do it randomly. One of them slipped to me. You see,
Wow. So
as
that
saying, "Hello, I'm here."
exactly.
Pick me up. You see.
Wow. So that was a lot of help then.
Yeah, it was very
So
amazing.
you said, "Oh, I like that one. It's okay."
Oh, yes, this one. Okay, okay.
Very good. So, well, hopefully the people that present themselves this 2023 in June, we wish them all their luck. Um, and I think that it's gonna be, at least for people like me preparing for Escuela Oficial de Idiomas, it's tough, at least for Community of Madrid, because there are very few vacancies, very few posts.
Eight, to
So
be more precise.
I think it's even ridiculous to go there and perform the exam because I don't have any chance probably, even if I know very well and even if I have prepared very well all the topics and the parts of the exam. I think it's going to be very difficult. So I probably will continue reading and studying, but not in the same intense way that I was doing it before. So let's move on to the Little Women, Mario. I know that you have been
Reading,
a
yeah.
bit about it. So we will be reading the scene of the ballroom scene where Joe and Laurie, the neighbor, meet for the first time in presence. No,
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
person.
in person.
Yeah. So we are going to start reading. I will be reading the narrator and Joe, and then you will be reading the Laurie.
Glory
Yeah.
part.
For those that are following the script, is this a script? It is for educational purposes only, so we are using material that we are allowed to use. And is this a script from 1994, the same movie that Winona Ryder did? In my website, you have a link where you can also watch the last version from 2019, the movie from 2019.
I've been looking for it. I haven't seen it yet, but well, you will tell me, okay? But
Yeah,
I would like to see it.
yeah, it's inside my website in where it says English to theater, and I advertising the open day, which is today in Paseos. We are going to meet and continue reading the scenes with the people that appear and ask me for this activity. And if there are four people, I will continue with the four people during 15 months preparing the theater that will someday, if everything goes right, will perform on stage. But it's not our main goal. Our main goal is to learn English through theater and understand very well the novel Little Women and the scripts and the movies that have already been done. Alcove behind draperies. The draperies is the fabric that is hanging, separating spaces. Ballroom, gardener house, night, and collides intimately means in a very intimate way, with the Lawrence boy, who is crouched, which means escondido, agachado, behind the drapery, eating a dish of French ice. Jean March, Jehoshaphat, I'm sorry. And Jehoshaphat, I have to explain that Jehoshaphat is an expression which is very typical from that time in the 19th century. And Jehoshaphat is the name of someone from the Bible. And Lori says,
No, stay. I just came in here so I could stare at people.
Lori smiles shyly. He has taken off his jacket. His soft tie is loose. He keeps his voice low, as if they are conspiring.
Should I put on my jacket? I never know the rules here. I'm Laurie, Theodore Laurie, but I'm called Laurie.
Joe March whispers, Joe March. She puts out her hand and then, remembering Merck's advice, quickly withdraws it, just as Laurie puts out his hand.
Joe March, it's you.
Ah, yes, sorry. Um, who were you staring at?
You, actually. What game were you playing?
And Joe March replies, I don't know, but I think I won. Sorry, who else? They peek. Peek means they are seeing someone without being seen through the drapery together, whispering.
I'm quite taken with that one.
And Joe March says, Belle Gardiner? She's engaged.
Not Miss Gardiner, Laurie says. Not Miss Gardiner. The very beautiful one with the eyes.
He means Meg, who looks very pretty, with a flowery frill poised on her forehead to hide her frizzled bangs. And I'm going to explain here certain expressions. Flowery frill is kind of a poison, is a frill, is something, a decoration that is she's wearing on her, a pin or something that with flowers that she's wearing on her head, and is hiding this little thing that she's wearing is like a pin, is hiding the frizzled bangs. Bangs is kind of a mechón de pelo, ¿vale? Bangs que se ha quedado quemado porque antes Joe le ha quemado. Las que habéis visto la peli y habéis leído la novela, sabéis de qué va esto. O sea, her sister Meg is dancing there with someone, Lori is watching at her, and she's wearing this thing because Joe, before at home, burned her hair. Joe March. Oh, that's Meg, my sister, and she is jealous as he keeps staring. No, she is completely bald in front and off his double take. And obviously, Joe now is being a little bit naughty. And she's saying that her sister is bald, not only because she knows that she has burned her hair on the front, but also in the second taken means, and the second meaning is being not very clever, bald. Bald, by the way, is como decir calva, ¿vale? And so she keeps saying, did you really live in Italy among artists and vagrants? And vagrants means people that move from place to place without any destiny.
Uh, Laurie says, my mother was Italian, a pianist. Grandfather disapproved of her.
And you march. Truly? I saw a play like that. And casually, to impress him, as it happens, I'm going to Europe. And honestly prevails. Actually, my great aunt March is one of these days, and she has to take me. I work as her companion. It's excruciating, but I'll do it forever if it gets me to Europe. Eating his sorbet. Do you speak French or Italian?
Laurie says, in French. English at home, French at the school. The Conservatory of Music is Vivi.
In Bibi, yeah.
Yeah, adds unhappily. Now grandfather's having me tutored. He insists I go to the college. Go to college. Sorry. He insists I go to college.
Exactly. You, March, I'd commit murder to go to college. Do you read a lot? Oop, dropping sorbet on her front. I have to read to Aunt March hours and hours. I do all the voices. Nicely. Okay.
Laurie says, "Mm, I bet you do.
Yo,
Amused."
yo,
Mm.
yo, Mars. If I weren't going to be a famous writer, I'd go to New York and pursue the States. Are you shocked?
Very.
He grins, pleased. And this is the end of the scene that we are reading.
Okay.
Let's comment before we finish. I always ask one question. The question is, tell me three expressions or three words that we have reviewed and learned through the reading.
Me?
Yes, let's comment as a teacher three expressions that you find interesting.
Draperies, for example, like it's very close to curtains. You
Exactly.
see,
Yeah.
curtains. Um, well, Jehoshaphat has impressed me a lot. You
Yes.
see, I thought it came from the Bible. You
Yeah.
see,
It is.
and the last one. Let me remember. Um, uh, where is it? I can't see it now. Um,
I can help you with some others while you are looking for it.
yeah,
To pick something
to
or
pick something. Yes, when you or crouch, for example.
crouch is also a good one. Peek is to
Yeah,
see without being
yeah.
seen, and crouch
Without
is
this is crouch.
arrodillado.
Yeah, for example, when you for example, imagine behind the curtains, you kneel down just not to be seen. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
and
really
you pick like an spy. You see, as you were an spy. You see, you're
exactly.
spying things, and
Yeah, exactly. And also to peer with R.
yeah,
Also, that is you are not involved in what's happening, but you are peering from the distance, or you are kind of como la vieja del brisillo que decíamos el otro día, ¿no?
I didn't want to see to say because it was too Spanish,
But it's
but
the
it's
lady of the draperies.
exactly the expression.
We
La
can
vieja
say
del
the old
visillo.
lady of the draperies now that we know the expression of draperies.
Yeah,
Yes, but it's the same thing as an actor or an actress does when it's behind the curtains of the theater play. When
yeah,
you have been doing theater many years,
yeah.
you you know
I had
that.
to I had to draw the curtains many times and
Yes,
open it.
and also it's kind of very exciting the moment where you are behind the curtains as an actor and you peer a little bit to see how many people are in the audience, or
Yeah,
who has come to see you. I
so
think
so
that
many times I've done it. Yes, to
I
peek through the curtains to
think that
see how many people were in the audience. You see.
through the drapery, yeah. And any other expression that you like that you have learned?
Um, to stare, for example,
There are someone
keep
flowery.
staring.
I like it also. Flowery frill poised on her head.
Yeah, flower. That's very, very interesting. The frizzle bangs, for
Yeah,
example.
frizzle
Frizzle
band.
bangs. Yeah, I
I
was.
and bangs is also like a fringe, can also be.
Yeah, yeah, kind of fringe. I had never seen that expression. Maybe they belong to the 19th century or
Not
not.
necessarily. No, it's very technical because, for example, the frizz. We know that when the hair is like that, that we can
Ah,
a lot of hairs coming out of one
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
frizz, and I think it's the good thing about reading this script and reading the novel is that we find many expressions that are very technical because she was
Yeah.
precise, you know.
There are especially two lines at the top of the right column, the second column,
Yeah,
the of page 18, I
yeah,
think, where the narrator says, he means Meg, who looks very pretty with a flowery frill poised on her forehead to hide her frizzled bangs. That's especially interesting.
yeah.
You
It's
see?
onomatopoeic or kind of we
Yeah,
do that like F, no, the sound, the repetition
yeah,
F many times. It's a kind of
yeah,
onomatopoeic sound. Yeah,
yeah,
English is very onomatopoeic. Ring,
yeah. Knock, knock, knock,
knock
knock.
knock.
Ring, knock, knock. I can remember. but there are
Yeah,
many. There are many.
but even tap, no, when you tap things, this sound as
Yeah,
tap, or yeah, it's a lot. There are a lot of things, very musical as well. The words. The other day we were reading with someone else, and we were
yeah.
talking about whimsical.
Somewhere I read that in English we had about 20,000 words coming from Latin.
Yes, that's true.
Probably through Latin directly or through French
Yeah,
because of the French invasion. You
yeah,
see,
yeah. And it's true
and
that for us, for
the
many,
Norman invasion.
exactly, and it's true that for us, when we want to sound very formal, it's easier because we take the Latin roots.
Yeah,
Is they use a lot of
much
Latin
easier,
in
much
order
easier.
to 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 sound formal or kind of more
Yeah,
serious kind of talk
yeah.
or literary kind of style. And it's true that happens a lot. So the other day we were talking about whimsical, which means strange, odd, and it's interesting. And so we have finished with this. What do you think about this theme, the characters, the what's going on here?
For me, the most impressive thing is how Joe and probably all the sisters are 19th century women,
Yeah,
but they want to live through their own rules,
yeah,
not the rules of society,
oh, yes,
their own rules.
yeah,
So they break the patterns. They
yeah,
break the patterns, you know. And especially the character of Joe, who is a little bit masculine,
yeah.
that's even more strange for the time, you know. I think she exchanges clothes with Laurie because she wants to live like a man.
Exactly, yeah, because
You
she
see?
desires to do things as a man because the things that the mans do
Yeah,
forbidden for them. They can go to college. Even when she goes to New York and tries to publish her own writings, at the beginning she's not being taken seriously.
seriously. You know that Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein,
Yeah,
had to had to hide her name and walk from editor to editor. Nobody wanted it.
yeah,
Nobody wanted Frankenstein because she was a woman.
yeah. And also Virginia Woolf, which is
Yeah,
someone that I have already said many times that she also was um, in this condition where she couldn't go to college, was forbidden even to put
mm.
a feet, her feet on the grass of the university. She couldn't even enter to the gardens. It's
Mm.
ridiculous. Well, ridiculous. From the point of view of our contemporary look, it might sound ridiculous. I think the good thing about Little Women is that, as you have said, they create their own rules. They make their own world, and I think this is a valuable, we could say, a valuable um, um, lesson that we learn from Little Women. That we create the world that we live in, and that
That's
can,
all of them want that. All of them want to create their own world.
especially
They
Joe.
they they don't want society to impose the model on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, well, especially Joe, and also the mother that contains the four elements. I see the mother as the editor. I see Aunt March as the person that has the money and the support.
That's what I read. You see, but I don't know the other characters so well.
Yes,
But
you will find out, especially also after reading the novel, where it contains every detail that the movies can tell us. The novel is a principal thing. If I have to say something here is, please go and read the novel. I don't have it now here at hand, but I showed it very, very many times in my videos, because I think it's the best thing you could do is to read the novel.
yeah, but you see, all the sisters are different.
They
All
are,
of them have their own special view of the world.
and
Yeah?
yeah, and
But
and
I think they want to break patterns in their own way, not in the same way, but
they are living crisis in a crisis moment in United States,
yeah, through the Civil War.
and so it's a time of very convulsive and very kind of a scary moments, where they are kind of also supporting people that need their help, neighbors, that are in need, women that are being beaten and are being criticized by society because they have kids without being in marriage or because they are poor. So they are really concerned, especially the mother who taught them and who is teaching them all these values, right? So um, what I like from Little Women is this lesson that I think everybody can learn this lesson after reading the novel, especially not only watching the movies, which are fantastic, but there are many things. It's a universe. Louisa May Alcott really built a female universe. So this reminds me of another book that is called "We Live in a Female Universe" or in a male world in a female universe. This
Yeah,
is Scott Allen,
yeah,
a psychologist and therapist from, I think, Los Angeles is where she lives. And she talks a lot about this energy of female and male energy and how we all combine these two things because we have left and right. We have these two energies that we live with them and we need to really incorporate them and work with them as not as opposite but as complementary energies, and you understand that very well yourself
yeah.
because I remember I met you for the first time in a singing lesson with Eduardo Laguillo.
Yes, that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
That's right. Everything is about the voice there.
Yeah, about vibration,
Mhm.
sound, voice, vibration, everything is vibration, and well, voice, music, sound, um, um, are very important elements because they help us elevate, rise our vibration.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
see?
I miss a lot the lessons of singing in general. I play a little bit the guitar. I play very little the piano. In the characters, Beth is the character that is wind, and she plays the piano, and she's the one that dies in this
Yes, yes.
story.
Very
And
sad moment in the story.
yeah, actually today I have a reading with Begonia, and we will be reading that scene, beautiful scene, um, and all the elements, how they have placed the symbols.
Yeah, it must be very moving. Beck's death
Yeah,
are very moving.
exactly. And Beth is very shy herself. She expresses herself through music. She doesn't talk a lot, but she uses music to express herself.
Very artistic, a
Very the
very
four,
artistic
the
woman.
four of them, Joe writes, maybe
Even Joe.
Joe writes,
Well,
and the four of them, they have the Pickwick Society, which they perform theater in front of their neighbors in Christmas time and in many other occasions. They are building their own society, the Pickwick Society, where they welcome also later Laurie, this character that you have read, the neighbor, who is desperate to be part of this family because he's alone in his house, bored, and she really wants to be part of this energy of being creative and helping others. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity for them to be part of this world. I have over there some. I have a reading that I will place over here for you to show you to see it.
Anna, can I ask you a question? Did you did you read the novel first or watch the film first?
Well, I think as many people, we when I was 17, I think
Yeah, you watched the film.
maybe earlier, I watched the movie. I was a teenage, and then I decided to to buy the novel, read it, and download also the script from 1994 and read in a parallel way because I like to compare how the novel has been translated into movie, into theater. Our work is to perform theater. It's not the same reading a script from movies, as you know very well, because you also are working with shorts, right? Um, but my first knowledge was a movie from the movie. Then
an older version, not the last
yeah,
version.
the one that we are reading from the 1994, the script that we are reading is from Winona Ryder's movie. Is the third movie, the third version of Little Women.
Yeah.
The first one is with Katharine Hepburn. The second one appears Elizabeth Taylor around 1949 or around that time. The other one was in 35, 1935.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1994 is this one, and the last one in 2019 with Meryl Streep in the role of
Yeah.
Aunt March.
Yeah.
And
March.
the characters, the girls are fantastic. I like all of them, especially Joe.
And March, with who I think represents, I think, the vision of society in front of, or not.
Yes and no. She's, to me, she's the she's the gold, we can say,
Representation, or
of how women are independent. She is the final process. She's
i-
always,
is she independent? Is she
she
independent?
had to marry because she had money.
Ah,
To me, she represents the woman
ah,
that has been doing in her life whatever she wanted
interesting,
because
interesting.
she didn't need to get married in order to have um, her own opinion about things and have her own house and things like that. She didn't have to work because she has already a lot of money. So, in terms of society, I think that she is like our. I mean, she's a character that nobody likes. She is an old grumpy woman, you know, that she is always telling them how they must marry someone with money.
So she does the contrary of what her life has been.
No,
She,
she knows very well that if they don't have money,
but she had money.
yes,
So
and
she
actually
was,
she's
so she
helping.
was free in,
Yes, but she
in a
can't
certain way.
help the. I mean, she's helping them, but she's telling them also in a very realistic way that in the world they live, they need to also. It's old fashioned. She's a little bit old fashioned, but she's also telling the truth. It's like, hey, girls, you don't have much now. We are living in crisis, in a crisis. Let's marry with someone that can help you. You know, not only live in your fantasy. So I think it's not very. It's a message that we don't like to hear, but we need to as well, because at the end she is the one that is helping everyone. She's helping Meg to marry. She's helping Joe with her project at the end because she gives all what she has when she dies to Joe.
Hmm.
And
But she knows the girls are not as lucky as she was.
because I mean, she's the aunt. She is the aunt of the father, so she's even older than the parents.
Even older than the father. Huh?
She's the aunt of the father. The father is in the Civil War, and the mother is actually is the mother represents the elder. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And to me, Aunt March represents the voice of wisdom.
But can you see the father any time in the novel?
Yeah, twice. In one
Right.
Christmas time, where when Beth is, already the Beth is sick, and so they is coming from Christmas time to spend the night with them and celebrate it, and then at the end as well. And we hear from him from letters that he writes to the kids and the mother. So the mother, it's very typical the scene with the mother reading the letter to the kids, the four kids that are around her, like como una gallina con sus polluelos, ¿no? Es esa
Yeah.
sensación, ¿no?, de motherhood, pero es muy éter, porque la madre contiene a todas.
Pero la tía se siente muy madre, ¿o no?
La tía es como que está pasada ya de rosca, o sea, ella
Pero como ella no ha sido madre, de alguna manera no ejerce de madre con ellas. O...
Bueno, la madre muchas veces le dice a la madre, o sea, la tía, me dices de la tía, ¿no? La tía le
Sí,
dice
la
muchas veces,
tía.
claro, the mother, the aunt says many times to the mother, um,
How to behave.
I mean, she's the old wise woman that nobody likes hearing from her, But at the end, she's giving advice, very practical advice, like if you don't have money and you are a woman in this world, get married with someone
Who
with
can support you?
that supports you, because otherwise it's going to be a disaster. You won't be able to follow your dreams. You will be miserable, basically. But Joe does the opposite completely. It's interesting.
Completely.
Joe completely avoids the voice of her aunt, but in the end, she's the one that gets the heritage of the house of the aunt of Aunt March.
Yeah, she's
So
a warrior. A warrior.
she's a warrior, and also the aunt in some way. I want to put in value the figure of the aunt, because I really think she's at the end the person that is providing everyone, being very generous.
Yeah, the
And
big
so
provider. The big provider.
as a teenage, I didn't pay many attention to, to the aunt, neither to the mother. But when you get older and you pass different stages,
Ah, you change the point of view.
exactly. But it's everyone the same way, right? We open up our hearts and com- we start being more ether as well, and we kind of embrace others' point of view, embrace others' energies,
Yeah, you
and
open your mind to other perspectives about
yeah,
the characters. You
and
see?
we are generous as Aunt March, but
Yeah,
also practical with the feet on the ground.
but you have to be older. I mean, older to understand an older character.
Yes, because
Yeah,
we need to live. That's
yeah.
why
We need
it's
to live. We need to
fantastic.
live and
It's
get wider perspectives. You
yes,
see?
wider and more rooted.
Yeah, more rooted perspectives. Yes.
Yeah, and then everything is possible because you are rooted.
Yeah.
Teenage characters, the little women, are fantastic, but are not rooted. They are in transformation. They are not mature enough. The
Yeah.
mother is starting to be more mature, obviously, because has 4 kids already, and her husband is in the war. So she's in this moment where she's dealing with many generations, taking care of the elders and the youngers, and working a lot. And then we have the older people that are, I think, with their hearts placed in a wiser place. I think focused on be doing good and saying good, even when people don't want to hear your advice. Because I mean, the things that she's saying, the aunt, may not be the things that the girls want to hear, but it's important that someone says those things to them. So this is interesting. I think you will enjoy the movie. If you don't want to read the novel, you could perfectly watch the last movie, and you will experience that. So we have finished for today. I think we have been doing a lot of things. 43 minutes already. Thank you for your time, your
A
lessons.
pleasure. Always a pleasure. You know.
And if you want to have lessons, online lessons, here you have a fantastic also teacher that can teach you a lot of things. Mario, it has been a pleasure. Do you want to say anything else?
Well, just that. It was a real pleasure. It's not the first time that we collaborate. You see, it's not the first time we work together, and your your activities are always very interesting, very enriching. You see, and I think they deserve to have a lot of people following them.